Alright, hey guys, Palmerater here. Welcome to another ASKPIV here. We're putting them out Wednesdays, but stay to the end of this video if you guys want an announcement. But we're going to start off from here.
Hi, I'm here too.
Hello. If you want your questions answered, you can put it in at askpiv@gmail.com, send us questions. And we are joined here with Miss Olivia, of course, the beautiful, the wonderful
Hi.
Miss
If to the
Olivia
piv.
Mecca. And Ib to the Piv. Here we go. We're going to start answering questions you guys sent us. So we got a question from Thomas Janes. He says, me and my girlfriend have been going through a rough patch about him going away to the Navy in a couple months. Is there anything we could do to prevent us from breaking up? We are, she said, Palmer and Olivia, you are the best. Love you. So some people have a tough time with long-term relationships or relationships where you're not going to see people for a lot. So things that could help to prevent it, that's a hard one.
You really just kind of got to let it, you gotta let it take its course.
Yeah. We've talked about this a lot.
Don't force anything.
Relationships are a two-way road, and if one direction of that is blocked for whatever reason, whether it's like physical or emotional, like she can't deal with you being in the Navy and like not seeing her, that relationship's not going to work. So you might have to respect her decision on this, and maybe not break up for in the future, but just kind of say, all right, I get you need your space, good. I hope to resume this relationship when I get back, or something like that. It's really tough and it's really hard, and a lot of people in the military are in your same situation, and it's a sacrifice that we are very thankful for, but it's unfortunate in a lot of cases. Next question from Jaden. You guys are awesome. I have some friends at a school on my softball team that made a ship name of me and this boy that she doesn't like, and he goes, what should I do to tell them to shut up? I love your challenge videos. So you got friends that are bugging you about a boy that you don't like or do like but don't want to admit it. Well, way to get them to shut up is stop showing them that you care.
Yeah.
That's
just don't
the
pay
best.
any attention to it. Let them say what they want, and eventually it gets boring for them, and they'll move on.
Exactly. That's a good way to deal with bullies and that whole kind of thing. Even though this isn't a bully, this is kind of more of a playful situation. It's still people like to rile out of you, and if you don't give them that, then they won't present it. So
exactly.
That's a pretty easy one. It's hard. Sometimes it's harder in practice, but the answer to that is pretty easy. So we'll get to the next question. So we got a question from Parker. I'm not going to go through the entire. It's kind of long, but he says, I'm not cool or anything. I don't have any friends. I'm basically a nerd times a million. I'm really smart. I'm in 7th grade, and he was playing with friends on Xbox, and they kind of were making fun of him. He's very self-conscious. He says that you can say I'm fat and ugly. He can't make any friends. He doesn't have any girlfriends. He doesn't like any of the people he goes to school with. And now he's having issues with internet friends. You know what sucks? 7th grade sucks. Like, it just really does. Like, I'm going to tell you that. Some people have had great experiences. I didn't already experience personally, but kids are just weird there. They're growing out of their kid phase. 7th and 8th grade, both. They're growing out of their kid phase. They're becoming more of an adult, and they're not sure what to do with all these hormones and shit. So they're assholes. Like, kids are assholes in 7th and 8th grade. So don't take it personal. That's just how kids are.
Don't be so down on yourself.
Don't be so down on yourself.
You should try and be positive.
There's plenty of people on the internet that are kind of feeling the same boat as you. And, maybe these friends it's them, but they feel like you, and they're taking it out on you because they're not confident just the same way that you aren't confident. So, and then there's also the situation where, guys say guy things and they'll pick on people, but they don't really mean it. They don't realize they're hurting you. So, I thought I caught the fly. There's so many flies down here right now. I don't know why. There's like 4 flying around, and they're really distracting. And I just want to catch them out of the air. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So you can't take it to heart what they're saying. They might still be your friends, but they just said some mean things that they didn't really mean, or they were trying to look cool in front of their other friends. It's a big mess. But
and don't be down on yourself.
Don't be down on yourself.
Seriously. And don't say that you're a nerd, because it's a good thing. That's a really good thing. It's a good thing to be really smart.
I was a nerd.
Palmer was totally a nerd, and I personally, I can say I love the nerds. So.
Yep.
You know what? It's also, like he said too, it is your age. So even like to address like the girl situation, you know what? It's an awkward stage for pretty much everybody. There's obviously some exceptions, I'm sure, but it's just a stage that everybody tends to go through at that age. It's just so awkward. And
here's something that most people won't say, but if you look back like, so you're older, you're out of your middle school. So like when you're in middle school, there's girls that are, there's attractive girls, attractive guys, like for your age group. But when you're like a high schooler, everyone looks really weird. So don't think that you look weird. You're just in like a growing stage between a kid and an adult, so it just looks weird. So for some people that doesn't work as well as others, and I know it sounds kind of funny.
I've been there.
Yeah, but everyone looks awkward in middle school. So don't if you don't worried about your looks in middle school. I'm telling you, it changes completely. So the really attractive people can become ugly, and the really ugly people become attractive. It's really magic what puberty does. I'll tell you that. So thanks for the question. All right, got a question from Joel. Joel likes this girl on his track team and doesn't know if she has a boyfriend, and he wants to know if he should ask her and how to ask her. And I like your videos and thanks. A good way is like find out if she's friends and like ask her friend, or kind of just in the middle of things just kind of bring it up, like,
or just ask her. You have nothing to lose. Like,
yeah,
really.
and there's not really, sometimes that's just something that people want to know, even if you're not like interested in them in a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. So if she says no or yes, doesn't necessarily mean that like you're trying to make a move in there. I mean, you can kind of see that a little bit, right? Like she might have an idea in her mind, but that might plant the seed that like, oh, he's interested in me. He cares if I have a boyfriend or not. So I think it's a good thing just to, either straight up and ask, or and more on like, but make it flow.
Or
a little
ask
bit.
her friends. Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yeah. Got a question from Austin. Austin likes this girl who is best friends with his sister, but his sister doesn't have many friends, so they're both kind of worried. Both her and the girl that he likes are worried that if they do start a relationship, it might mess with the relationship with the sister. So what I have to say to that is I don't think that is necessarily true. I think if they're good enough friends and they're real friends, because they dated the brother or sister, I don't think that should affect. What do you think? 8th grade.
Well, you never know, though. It might, because you never know how a situation could play out. Like, we have no idea how it might work. So it could make it, if it didn't work out, then obviously they have reason to be a little bit worried that it might not. And, wow, there's a lot of flies down here.
Shit. They like the lights. We have these big lights, and they're just attracted to the lights.
Yeah.
We just don't know. I guess basically you got to judge the system a little bit.
Yeah.
How close are you and your sister? Like, would she understand, or would she be mad? I think there is a little bit of importance, family comes first. So if you really, really do honestly believe that this might wreck the relationship between her and one of her only friends, maybe stay away. I know it's, you wish you could and it'd be nice in a perfect world, but, your sister comes before your relationship at that point,
Yeah,
I would say. But if you think maybe even ask your sister, talk to her about it. Say, I like this girl, I like your friend, would you be okay with me dating her? So it's a tough one, but I guess my advice changes from the beginning, because since Olivia said, maybe you should err on the side of caution just because it is your sister.
Yeah.
Got a question from Anonymous, and he's been with a girl for about 5 months. They recently broke up. She broke up with him and basically just kind of straight up told him she's bored. She was bored, and it's happened with other guys before, and she just can't stay in a relationship. I know she has a lot of friends that are like that. Not to like say out, but like certain girls are just not, or boys, not just girls, but they get bored of relationships at that age, at a teenage level. Most people aren't wired to like stay with the same person, and I know some people are, so it sucks when you get one person that is and one person that isn't, and then it just doesn't work out, and one person's devastated. But that is part of growing up. So I don't think you should fight to have her back, because even if you win her back and you lose her 5 months later, she's going to do the same thing. Yeah. So it
just means that it might not be, right
time.
Now you might think that she's the one for you, but maybe she just might not be.
Yep.
And that's hard
and
to
maybe
do.
she might be one day when she's more like not, looking for constant excitement. Some people are looking for constant excitement. Some people are okay with things staying the same. It's kind of funny. Dyson says, what do you do if you catch a girl staring at you and she doesn't stop staring? I'm 16. I haven't noticed this from anyone else before. What should I do? You should... If you like the girl, smash that. No, don't smash that.
Oh my God, Palmer.
Sorry.
Don't say that.
Sorry, that's inappropriate. But no, you should
like
you should get to know her. Talk to her. It probably means she likes you. It's a pretty simple question, pretty simple answer. Or it could just mean she thinks she's being funny. I don't know.
Well, or I don't know. I have a friend that literally just zones out.
Zones out.
So that? You could take it a million ways. I'm not telling on here, but I just
That is true. There are people that do that.
Just like, and her eyes may follow you still, but they're still could be totally zoned out. Yeah.
No, that's true.
No, seriously. So it's hard to tell what that means exactly.
Got a question from Richard, and he says he has this girl that won't stop messaging her, about 3 years younger, and he says he's just way too old for her, not really interested. He doesn't want her to get mad or freak out. Girls lose interest. Well, what's the best way to lose a girl's interest? Fart in front of her?
No.
No? How do you do it?
I don't know, because if she likes him that much, she wouldn't care or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you just might have to tell her to say, I'm not interested, you know.
Yeah. Just the very basic things, like, I'm not looking for anything at this time, like, yeah. Or just don't answer her. Like, she can message you all the time. The age difference.
Yeah, you can say the age, you know, too much of an age difference for me to feel comfortable, you know.
You just have to be honest.
Yeah, just be honest. It helps.
Honest, yeah.
So, we got a question from Jack, and he says, would you rather get married to someone that you never knew for the rest of your life, or marry Palmer if you're Olivia, marry Olivia if you're Palmer, in the next 10 years? That's pretty easy. Pretty easy.
Well, and you forgot that part. He said no divorce is allowed.
Oh, no divorce is allowed.
Yeah.
So.
To the person that we wouldn't know. So I mean, obviously I love Palmer. So.
Yeah. So I guess I'd have to make it then a random person spin fucking a wheel on 7 billion or 3.5 billion people.
I mean, where are we at? So we're 19. In 10 years we'd be 29. I think we'd already be married by then.
Yeah. So
much that's easier. Not that bad.
Much easier. If you can answer this one, we got a question from TH, and he or she says, were you guys been together for the whole 5 years? Did you ever break up or anything like that?
Why me answer it? We both.
I know, but I think I'm answering too many. So no, we never did. No, the answer is no.
No,
there you go. Happy couple. 5 years. Pretty impressive. Yeah. I know. We'll brush the dirt off.
Where's mine?
I'll get you. Here you go. I'll get this one. Oh, that's sad.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna read this just because it sounds really sad.
Oh,
okay.
You just laughed.
It's kind of funny.
Oh.
Okay, we got a question from Anonymous, and they say, what do you do if you're dating a girl and she says she is coming back to the same school after summer break and she never comes back?
Oh
that's
God,
really sad.
I'm so sorry.
That's really sad. It's like one of those, like, it's morbidly funny.
That's so sad.
But
I'm
it's sad.
sorry.
It just means she probably didn't know. She probably wasn't lying to you, or
I don't know. Well, how?
She might not have known she's moving or something, or
what? Like that? Last minute?
I don't know.
Oh,
See if
yeah,
you get a hold of her on like Facebook or text or somewhere, because
I'm
modern
sure
day.
he's tried.
Yeah.
That's just strange.
That is
That's
strange.
a very strange.
Strange, but sad. I'm sorry.
I know,
I'm sorry for your loss.
I know. That's.
Next question.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a question from Josh, and Josh says, I am gay. Dear Palmerater, I am gay, and I have a crush on someone who I think is gay, but I'm not quite sure. Should I ask him or not? Because I might get bullied. Yours faithfully, Josh. So, it kind of, are you openly gay? So that kind of plays in a part of it. I know you are with yourself, but like, do people know? And secondly, people can get offended if you just assume they are. So, and especially even if they are, like, there's people that at a younger age that haven't come out yet, and so they'll get like vigorously offended if you assume that they are, even if they're acting it and it's pretty obvious they are, but they just haven't like admitted it.
They might be
a lot of
nervous.
times, they're nervous and they might not even have admitted it to themselves yet. So it's a really tough situation. Like, I'm not an expert on that.
I don't know.
So
this might be one of those situations where like you could talk to their friends, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean that's like the closest thing I could think of to kind of finding out, but not overstepping your bounds. You know, kind of in a way that might offend them. Yeah. You know,
but it's the same situation that we say in a lot of cases. Like, what do you got to lose? He's gonna be mad. Right. You know, people might find out that you are. Yeah, so what? Like, it's the 21st century. Like, people are pretty accepting. And I get that kids are less accepting than like society in general, but it's something that they're gonna have to learn to deal with. And I think my high school experience, at least where I went to high school, it was pretty accepted. And I mean, people might joke about it, but they're not like it was 50 years ago or 20 years ago even, where it's like Shundi and you're a terrible person. They just might crack some jokes, and I don't know. Everyone's got to have tough skin for something, whether you got red hair, you're gay, or you do well on your math test. Like, really, everyone's got something that people find to make fun of them. So, you know. All right, we're gonna end it on that. There. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure to clickety-clack of that like button. I think that was just a Philip DeFranco that just came out of my mouth. I think that's what he says.
Clickety-clack? Clickety-clack.
I used to say it. I don't know where I got that from. I didn't hear that before. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are not. Oh, and the... we got an announcement. It's not a great announcement. No. So, this is going to have to go on hiatus for a little bit. We are going to college. We are going to different colleges. We're not going to be able to get together and record as much as we...
We'll still have challenge
challenge videos, but we're not going to be able to commit to 2 videos a week yet. I'm living an hour away from where our studio is, and she's living about 40 minutes and not really in the same direction all that much. So
yeah, so unfortunately, we're gonna have to put this on pause for at least a while.
Yep. So you got the Sunday challenge videos to look after. We're gonna try to keep up with this email actually, and reply to you guys manually. So you guys keep sending in questions, and maybe the next time this comes back, maybe it'll just be like awesome questions that we replied that we wanted to also mention in the video that they thought might help other people.
Yeah.
So maybe things that aren't super specific, or kind of ones that
But
can
again,
generally help
we'll
people.
do what we can. We just, our lives are changing now that school is starting, so
Yep.
we don't.
So Sunday challenge videos will be there. Don't you worry your little bosoms. Wait, bosoms, butts, or boobs?
What?
Bosom. Bosoms or boobs?
Bosom.
Bosom. I meant butts. I guess bosoms is not butts.
Butts.
Don't worry your heinies.
All right.
People say like, "Oh, I'm wearing my ass off." I was trying to say it in a cuter way.
Oh. Yeah, very cute.
It was very cute, but bosoms mean boobs.
All right.
Not. Anyways, that's the news. Sorry if you guys, we haven't got to your question yet. Like, we haven't gotten to your question. If you sent yours in August or later, pretty much we haven't got to your question. So we're like a month behind.
We're in July.
Yeah, we're still in like the end of July. So, yeah. Hope you guys can live with that. We love you long time. Yeah. And we'll be back every Sunday. And eventually these Wednesdays, I'm sure they'll be back. We'll get into a groove. We'll get in the Emperor's new groove. Even if I got to get this woman on Skype to answer these questions for us or something.
That'd be cute.
What if we did like a podcast?
We do a cute little like Skype date. And then
that'd be cute.
Yeah. Or we could do a stream or something.
Something like that. Yeah. All right. We love you guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.